Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the midst of a classic media feeding frenzy, and the target, of course, is Donald Trump. Now, yesterday, I talked about how some pundits are actually questioning Trump's sanity, saying he's just plain crazy or he's unhinged, somehow turning journalists into psychiatrists. A little bit hard for me to understand how a guy who's just got so many screws loose somehow managed to win the Republican nomination. But now, Trump is, undeniably in a rough patch of his campaign. The way he has handled the Kaiser Khan controversy has turned what would have been a one-day embarrassment into a six-day story. And so now you have all kinds of leaks, some of them from within the campaign, saying campaign staffers are frustrated that Trump isn't more disciplined, that he's not taking their advice, that they can't control the candidate. Paul Manafort, the campaign chairman, said by some to also be very frustrated, to be disengaging, phoning it in perhaps. Manafort, through intermediaries, is denying that. This is what happens when a campaign suddenly seems to go off the rails and you have the finger pointing that goes on, the press all too happy to amplify that, and that becomes a kind of a vicious cycle. At the same time, especially with Trump saying, well, he's not quite ready to endorse Paul Ryan, he's not quite ready to endorse John McCain, and you have leading Republicans, including Newt Gingrich, who's close to Trump and was on the short list for VP, saying Trump is making a lot of mistakes. He's like a quarterback throwing interceptions. He needs a reset. You have other Republicans like Meg Whitman coming out for Hillary Clinton, saying she's going to raise money. All of this contributing to now new reports that some Republican leaders are saying maybe we can push Trump out, maybe we can replace him on the ticket. That is ludicrous. It's not going to happen. But it's indicative of what happens when a campaign is in such a rough place. Now look, it's quite obvious from the day he got into this race, much of the media were against Donald Trump. This is true of the mainstream pundits who mocked and minimized him and didn't take him seriously. It is equally true of the liberals, obviously, who saw Trump as somewhat of a comic figure, and conservatives who continue to hammer him to this day because they don't feel that Trump is a genuine conservative and also have problems with his temperament. So all of this can create this effect, this perception that the campaign is over, that there's no way he can beat Hillary Clinton, except for this. For all the mistakes that Trump may have made in recent months, and for all the hostile press that he has gotten, and he continues to denounce the media, especially CNN, especially the New York Times, a little less so with the Washington Post, Trump is still in a very competitive race. Hillary Clinton may have gotten a bump from the Democratic convention, but Trump is in a competitive position. So campaigns can turn on a dime. She may make some mistakes. Something else may happen to change the narrative. At the moment, though, the media are giving the impression that the Trump campaign is floundering, that it's in dire straits, that the candidate is imploding, that he can't win. And you have to discount some of that as being a hostile press. Other parts of it are caused by the candidate who seemingly picks every fight, sometimes picking the wrong fights. So we will continue to take a look at this coverage. Is it unfair? Is it reflecting reality? Or is the truth somewhere in between?